Hello guys and welcome to our ninth vlog of Murder on the Orient Express, and today we'll be discussing chapters 25, 26 and 27, or as we can also call them, it's chapters 2, 3 and 4 of part 3 of the book. Oh my god, the end is near, guys. Okay, so we'll start with chapter 2 of part 3. Now, first of all, Hercules has gathered some questions so he can start to wrap up this case. So the first question that he has is, who dropped the handkerchief? Who dropped the pipe cleaners? Who wore the scarlet kimono? Who wore the wagon-led conductor uniform? Is there any relevance in the 1:15 a.m. Marked in Ratchet's watch? Was it really that time the murder had occurred? And most importantly, was it one person, or how many murders are they on board? And so that's the beginning of the chapter 2, in which Hercules starts to hypothesize to be he's with Book, and now he's trying to answer all these questions that he previously was asking himself. So he's discussing them with Book, and what he deduces is that the handkerchief was indeed dropped when committing the crime. However, he thinks that the pipe cleaners were placed specifically as a fake clue. However, Book seems very confused and can't seem to find an answer. He's quite stressed because he's the director of the train company, and so his reputation is at stake. But another curious fact that we're gonna be analyzing is the letter of the passengers, because when all passengers were interviewed and called in, Hercules asked them to gently write their name on a piece of paper. So we'll be analyzing this further on. Analyzing the names and recalling who wrote their names. Everyone did it except Princess Dragomirov. However, all other passengers wrote their name with their right hand. However, when analyzing Ratchet's body, there seems to be stabs with right hand or left hand, and there seem to be quite irregular. So Dr. Constantine says that the most possible theory is that there was more than one murder, as all the stabs they aren't regular, they have a different pattern, they have a different strength and direction, and even seen and analyzed, we can see that they were conducted with different hands. So that leaves space for Princess Dragomirov, who did not write her name, to be the possible person who stabbed Ratchet with her left hand. And so that's about it for chapter 2. It's quite a short chapter. However, we're gonna be discussing it once we talk about the other 2 chapters. So let's get right into it with chapter 3. Okay, so in this chapter we have a confused doctor and Book who can't quite get their head on the case. They don't know what's going on. They are exasperated. They just can't seem to find a solution. However, Hercules is quite intrigued. He has a theory, as he says with Book, it's quite weird for this time of the year to have such a wide variety of nationalities on the train. Then we also find some interesting names, is that the chart note that they try to burn, which Hector suspected that Hector suggests that Ratchet burned him himself. However, that is quite suspicious. Okay, so now what we know is that there's a grease spot in a Hungarian passport. That Countess Andreni is Elena Goldenberg. However, what's suspicious is that there was grease spilled on the passport. However, what Hercules suspects is that it's not Elena but Helena with H at the beginning, relating her, making daughter of Linda Arden and sister of Mrs. Armstrong, connecting him directly to the Armstrong case. Now, the note was born to delete all correlations or relationship with the Armstrong case. However, they failed to do that, as they were able to find note. And so what we're finding out now is that it was quite the murder was quite acting upon vengeance and on the killing of Daisy Armstrong. Okay, guys, so now that's a wrap for chapter 3 of part 3 of the book, and now we'll be moving with the last chapter of today's blogs, which will be chapter 4 of part 3. So now let's get right into it so that we can discuss these chapters, because oh my god, what is going on? Okay, so for our last chapter of today's blog is chapter 4. And so in chapter 4, what we have is Hercule approaching the Count and the Countess and telling them that he knows the truth about the passport and that she's the sister of Mrs. Armstrong. To what at first the Count reacts and denies it all. However, in the end, Helena decides to confess the Countess, confesses and says that she was trying to hide and that she spilled ink purposely on her passport to hide her identity because she has been directly linked to have a motive to kill Ratchet, because it was, after all, she's the sister of Mrs. Armstrong, so it's family. And so after that, Hercules says Helena to not to worry, to not to fear, that knowing this will not affect how she will be judged. And so after this, Hercules asks Helena to about the nurse, the Daisy's nurse, Susan, the one who committed suicide once she was being accused of being involved in the murder. However, she doesn't recall much, but that she was French and quite well trained in nursery. And another detail and final detail of this chapter is that now we know of that the only person that Helena recognized on the train was Princess Dragomirov. And so guys, that's a wrap for chapters 2, 3, and 4 of part 3 of the book, or chapters 25, 26, and 27. Now, oh my god, let's get into the discussion. Part 3 of the book is personally my favorite part of the book. This chapter, I can still consider them my personal favorite, but they are one of them, they are part of them, because in here we get so much of a big review. We now know that we have on board the Orient Express not else but Mrs. Armstrong's sister. So now, even though she swears by that she has never seen someone except Princess Dragomirov on the train, she swears by that she has never seen any other people, and that she seems to have a really bad memory, remembering Susan's last name, who interestingly was a French nursery maid. So we have some details that we would like to clear up in the future, and so we're getting closer to solving this case. Now, what it's getting quite intriguing is that we are starting to spot that some characters were hiding and were faking, or were giving fake alibis because they're connected to the Armstrong case and they want to protect themselves. But are they really protecting themselves, or are they the killers and they are just trying to apply a principle like something like fake it till you make it, so they can eventually get off the train and move on with their lives? Or will Hercule Poirot will be able to find who the murder of Cassetti was, and if it was really a person involved with the Armstrong family and it was an act of vengeance, or it was an act of vengeance on a man called Ratchet and this was all just a confusion. So stay tuned for our next two.